What's going on, everybody? Shawcross here, or Neutron Raptor and Roll the Tanks. And yesterday when I uploaded my KV2 video, which I'm still on it in my garage, I said I was going to upload one battle, or at least one video, every single day for the next month on my YouTube channel, and I'm sticking to it. Today, instead of doing like a live commentary or watching a replay, I figured I would actually do something a little different, and that is going to the NA World of Tanks official forums and just seeing what topics are on there. I've already brought up World of Tanks right here. I haven't scrolled down to actually see what's going on in the forums, but let's just get right into it. We'll make like a so-so video. Has a different matchmaking been previously tested? Let's go check and see what it says. Alright, so this one is basically about skill-based matchmaking. This is an awful idea. Yes, there has been some template changes, but I hope to God there is never any form of skill-based matchmaking in this game. Especially because, like, if you've seen right here, he's even mentioning Win 8, like in this. Win 8 and XVM and everything is not owned by World of Tanks or Wargaming. Why would they ever use that form of a skill-based matchmaker? Even if you use personal rating, that would still be awful, because there is no way you could ever make a skill-based matchmaker for random battles that would not ruin it for good players. And what I mean is, you have to have a randomness to the battles so you can actually find battles quickly. If, for instance, you're a very good player, you have a very good personal rating, that would be an awful thing, because you know the only way you can do a skill-based matchmaker with 15v15 that's still a quick matchmaker is to just even it out after you get into the lobby. So what they would do to make it quick is you would just throw in 15v15 real quick, and then you'd even out the PRs as best as possible, across the whole thing. Which means if you're a very good player, that means you're probably going to get stuck with bad players on your team, like an extra couple to make up for your PR. So if you're a 11,000 PR player or a 10,000 PR player, and the other team does not have a 10,000 PR player because they're kind of rare in the matchmaker, it means your side is going to get an extra tomato. Your side's going to get an extra 3K PR player or an extra 2K PR player. Something along those lines, while the opposing team will probably get an extra yellow or a green player, to make up for your skill level. And on top of that, how would you even balance out skill anyways when it comes across the tiers of the game, since it's +2, -2? You would have that issue going on where if you're a very good PR player, does that mean the opposing team might get like a top tier really good PR player to balance you out when you're in a bottom tier tank? Is that really even? If that's going on, like a tier 10 versus a tier 8, the players are the same PR wise, but is it really an even match? It's not. That's why anytime you see someone bring up skill-based matchmaker for the random battles, it's always a dumb idea, and it would never work, and it would also make ranked battles and clan wars and everything completely irrelevant. So let's go back. That answered that question. Get good and otherwise. I've read this one months ago, or a month ago, as you can see. It was posted back in July. This guy is saying this dude is really, really awful. He's basically a conspiracy theorist, that thinks everyone is basically the same skill level. But let's go check out the T95. Let's go see what's about the Chieftain game balance. It's pretty clear that the T95 FE has never tested properly for game balance. Literally every match that has even one tier 10 only match. I've yet to see a match with it where one does less than 4.k damage. That's false. And not because of brilliant gameplay. The fact that it is a 1970s MBT going up against late 1940s designs at the E100 makes it even more lopsided. Even worse is that matchmaking often only puts one in a match. Once again, false. So one team has a distinct advantage. I know I'm going to get flamed for saying this, but this tank needs to be either seriously nerfed in terms of gun handling and top speed, removed from random battles, or removed entirely like the WTE 100. If we are going down this road, why not bring the Merkva, the Leopard 2, the M1A1, etc.? It makes absolutely no sense for game balance. I know I'm not the only one with these sentiments, as the chat logs from every match with the T95 FE on the enemy team read like a suicide note, GG, before it even starts. I've never actually seen that. This needs to be changed, and sooner than now. Well, the reason the Chieftains do so well in your matchmaking, everybody, is because it's a reward tank. Only the best players got it. Like, only the top like 5% of the player base. You know, these are people, even after the clan wars and the campaigns and everything were changed to allow like lesser clans to get the tanks, you still won't see bad players normally in the tank. I would assume that the average win rate of somebody with an FV right now is like 53 to 50, like what 53 to 55%. And that's the average. And then of course every single top tier player that's over the 60s has it as well. Of course they're going to do better. But I don't think that the T95 is actually like so much better than like a super conch that it needs to be nerfed. I think the reward tanks, okay, personally, I don't even do clan wars, alright? I don't do the campaigns. I don't have this tank at all. But I feel that these reward tanks need to be good. That's the only reason to play. Remember when no one wanted to do the old clan wars because they had the flying saucer little American tank or whatever that could be pinned over ridge lines? Is a pretty awful tank. You know, no one wanted to do it because it's a bad tank. But when you started throwing in 907s, chieftains, you know, all these tanks, then everyone wanted to do it because they wanted the big bad tank. And that's a good thing, you know. I don't like facing them, you know, but I don't mind facing them. I mean, they're going to get dumped on by artillery. They still get dumped on by the big alpha tanks. And you can still just outplay them anyways, because it's not like they're the greatest brawlers. So if you're in like city fights and whatnot, you can just chew these guys apart. You know, especially if you're in an armor tank that can still angle properly. You can beat a T95 chieftain. Alright? If you fight one on a ridge, well, even a super conch would have destroyed you on that ridge. Alright? Like anything with any form of gun depression is gonna like lay waste to you on those ridge lines. So once again, don't nerf it, just keep it. Those tanks have to deal with everything else that every other tank has to deal with, and you just need to learn to outplay them better in the brawls. Yes, they're good. Yes, they're played by the best players, but there's no reason to nerf it because of that. Let's see, KR versus 100 Munster, don't care. Tanks to keep. What is this? This was posted yesterday, so I have all but the new UK tanks and 13 different tier 10s. So I'm trying to clean up and expand my garage. What are your favorite 3 tanks that you like to play and would never give up? And yes, premium tanks work as well. Mine are the EBR, the PZ, whatever, and the Type 5. That's a really bad tank now. Of course, that would be a Type 5 for this player. For me, 3 tanks to keep. M46 Patton. I love that tank. Let's see, what's the other ones? I think a Defender for my premium tanks because it's just so brokenly overpowered. And it's really fun, you know, beating down on people. I do have the most battles on my KV2, but I don't really play the KV2 too much, even though I played it yesterday on, like, for my video. What would be the third one? So I got a Defender, M46. It's kind of weird. It'd be like some sort of probably tier 8 or 9 tank. Maybe the T30. Yeah, it'd probably be the T30, actually. I really enjoy the T30. Let's see. Why Artie needs to be removed. I will just say it should be removed, even though I know it can't be nowadays. Don't get hung up on losses. Let's go to T27 spam today. Yes, it's being spammed because it's a new tank, so everybody has it, and they're playing it all over the place. Tracer fire is gone. No, it's not. It's just harder to see. Let's see. So many shots dive right into the dirt. What the hell? That's because it's just RNG and you have dirt probably in a good portion of your crosshair. Brawling versus flanking. Which is harder to master? I'd like to ask accomplished players which skill they think is harder to master in the game, brawling or flanking / sniping. I have had much more success myself playing mobile tanks that can hide / flank, snipe, and run. I've become pretty good at using camo, bushes, ridges, and understand the maps and key positions so I can flank and contribute. This works great in lights and mini mediums. Brawling works best from heavy or strong mediums. Simply sitting there behind a rock and playing peekaboo, trying to use armor effectively is like playing a slot machine for me. Even in strong heavy tanks, you may just bounce a shot, a bunch of shots of the enemies, then get swarmed once your fellow brawlers get killed off. I get it about angling armor, side scraping, weak points, snapshotting, but if you're a tier 8 heavy facing tier 10s, your armor means nothing. As a brawler, you're always lit, you have no camo to hide, maybe just a rock. Anyways, not to cut my own skills down, but I really respect a guy who can brawl like a boss because it seems more risky to me to engage at close range. Also seems like strongholds and such clan play often just turns into a brawl, so the skill is very useful here. What do you think? Both of them are hard to master, but if you want to know which one will actually win you more battles, it's going to be brawling. Alright? Flanking, A lot of players try it, but if you can actually master brawling, you will win more battles in your random battles. Because even being a good brawler, it's not just about being in armored tanks. People don't realize that like your little paper tanks, you know, like your leopard ones and everything that are meant for sniping and whatnot, you're still gonna have to brawl pretty often in them. And if you're a bad brawler, you're gonna get smacked around. If you don't know how to like angle your tank really quick and on the fly, you know, and get those lucky bounces, because they're not really lucky, it's because you put yourself in a better position to have like a weird angle on a tank, you know, to get those bounces off your unarmored turrets, you know, and whatnot. You're gonna be better at the game. And I don't just mean better like skill wise, you're just gonna win better. Like your statistics will go up on your win rate if you can brawl effectively. And also when it comes to like just being in a battle, a heavy tank for a bad player, but if you play it correct or just take it to the correct spots, even if like you're outskilled on the opposing team, you'll probably still win more overall than playing like a medium tank or something else, because it's just harder to play smart like with unarmored medium tanks trying to flank. And what you see a lot of the times is people that are brawling as well, they don't realize like when it's like a 2v2 brawl on a street or whatnot, if you leave to go try to flank like the enemy brawlers, you're leaving your tank that is brawling by himself, and there's a good chance that before you ever get the flank on the opposing team, your 1v2ing friend is going to die, and then you're going to have to 1v2 as well your way out of the situation. That's why being able to brawl with your teammates, especially like when it's an even fight like down a street or whatever, is a very, very valuable skill to have. And it's also why you'll see a better player, like let's say it's a all tier 10 battle, you can see like a 55% player even like go into a street fight and come out 1v3 and win like in heavy brawls, because they know how to angle, they know how to watch their flanks from the flankers themselves, you know, trying to get, they know how to retreat themselves in these close range brawls, maybe fall back to a building right behind themselves and whatnot, and you can decimate people before you go down. So even if you get flanked and die, if you're a good brawler, man, you can do a lot of damage to an opposing team, and it can really give your team like maybe that little bit of a chance, you know, to pull out the victory after you die, because you took out like 2 or 3 tanks, you know, because you know how to fight better on those street corners and how to angle yourself, what you're going to shoot at on the opposing teams and everything else. So I think brawling will have a bigger effect on your actual statistics in the game. I think learning to flank though will help you have sustained success. You know, I think flanking is probably like a top end talent, about learning when to flank and when not to. Just like, you know, your tank simply being there is a good thing sometimes, so maybe you shouldn't go flanking people, you know, and whatnot. But overall, I think brawling for a normal player, learning how to master it, you'll have better overall outcomes in your battles once you learn how to brawl properly and not just give up all your like HP, you know, to a single tank sitting on a corner. So that's actually a good question. Maybe once I get done with this, I'll actually go and check out the answers to that. I'm going to assume we'll see a lot of flanking, you know, being thrown around, but I think brawling is actually better for a normal player to learn. And I think, like I was saying about that, when it comes harder to master, I think both are the same, you know, when it comes to difficulty. Brawling should come first, though, for a normal player. Happy 9th birthday. 75k credit loss. I just played a game where I lost 75,000 credits and didn't use any consumables. Clearly I don't use any consumables. Yeah, I see 75k loss of credits. Just checking with the community for a logical answer. Here's the screen cap. I want him to move this around so I can see his ammo loadout. Because look at his auto resupply consumables, 75k. Actually, that is kind of weird. Your rented camo just re-upped. That could be true, because isn't it like, how much is the rented camo? Isn't it like 50k? Oh, okay, so it's actually 75k. So that's what it was. See, I just got my answer. I just got my question answered, because it was a consumable, so it was kind of confusing, because I was like, man, it's gonna be, you know, he fired all premium and whatnot, but no, it was actually his consumables that cost 75k. But like people were saying, it was his camo re-up to get that. So that's pretty interesting. 3 MOE. Let's see, what else is there? Manageable bonus XP. Broken credit generation. Alright, we'll make this the last one. The in-game money generation system needs an overhaul. It is so broken that it seems Watt is just a mass corporate greed who cares nothing about the player base. And a tier 9 tank on a winning team, being in the top 3 of damage done on my team, I lost credits. This is simply unfair and wrong. Watt needs to rethink his pure corporate greed mentality. I understand you're a business, making money is what you do, but unless I spend 99% of my playing time on a premium tank to farm money, being able to progress in tiers is simply impossible. This is broken. I truly hope you fix this. We already buy tanks and premium accounts from y'all. Having to buy credits just to buy regular tanks is pathetic. This right here, if he lost money in a tier 9 tank while top 3 in damage, it means almost all his damage was on tier 7 tanks or tier 8 tanks, and he had premium consumables. So he probably popped a large repair kit. He may have got set on fire, you know, with an auto extinguisher, something like that. But either way, he's doing a lot of damage on lower tier tanks, and he's not actually carrying himself in XP wise. People don't realize that you can be top 3 in damage on your team, but it doesn't mean you had a lot of damage, you know, just because you're top 3. So you won, but you might not even have a lot of damage. So it means you're not going to get a lot of XP, it means you're also not going to get a lot of money. So that's the way that works. I actually think the credit system is kind of bonkers in the game. But, oh yeah, I've been listening to the background music this whole time, haven't I, from Watt. But basically, I've been playing on a standard account for most of my career in here, alright? I still have a lot of credits. I still grind up all my lines. And like a lot of players, like Quickie Baby, you know how he's been doing his free-to-play? I've actually ground through almost all my tanks from stock. Alright, that includes like the bad tanks, you know, like the Tiger 2s of the world, you know, and the Tiger P's stock, you know, all these tanks. I've went through them all stock like everybody else in the game. I actually don't think it's too bad. Even as a free player, they give you all the reserves now. You know, like I've been using them like crazy, and I still have another 1,300 left to go. Alright, so you can use those, and I think that'll work out better. You know, like it's better to be a free-to-play player nowadays than it ever was before. Like when I was playing a lot, it's better to be a free-to-play like now. Like you can do so much more in the game. And there's a lot of things Watt does wrong, but I think personal reserves and everything are actually great for players, you know, nowadays. And they do marathons so often nowadays as well that you can get free tanks, you know, for your premiums. And you can get good free premium tanks. Like this, when they did the marathon, it was an annoying marathon, but it was like attainable. You know, the TS5 is one of the best tier 8 premiums in the entire game right now, hands down. This thing is a monster, alright? They had the marathon for the black tanks, which I got all of them. You know, I got the Mutts, I got the B, and I got the IS-6, wherever it is. It's around here somewhere. And I got them all free. I've been playing this game since like 2013, alright? I've spent $60 on the game total, and that was just this past Christmas to get loot boxes. A single Christmas, I spent 60 bucks. Before that, I had not spent a dime on this game. I don't even know how many premium tanks I have at this point. Is there a way to see? I have 69 premium tanks. A lot of them are like the little low tier presents, but all these, alright? I have a lot of high tier, you know, valuable tanks. I got a defender as well. So, I mean, they all were either a random gift, you know, when I was streaming on Twitch, which I did not get a lot of, by the way, but the rest of those were just pure marathon missions, doing contests on the official forums. You know what, that's one thing to show right before we get off here as well. Or doing the tank rewards, which are doing one right now, I think, is for a tier 3, and last month was for a tier 5, and sometimes they'd have higher tiers than that. Like I got the heavy tank number 6 from tank rewards, alright? I got the Tiger 131 from the tank rewards. I did the little tournament missions years ago that would give me gold, which I used to buy the 112, and I used it to buy the FCM, you know, back in the day, and my super Pershing, just slowly saving up, not even in clans, just doing the little tournaments. Got the Type 59 from a Twitch.tv giveaway, you know, back then. But one thing that every free-to-play player should do, go to the official forums, come over here to the main directory, and where are you? Where are you? I don't think it's tournaments. Nope. It's in here. Here it is. Community zone. Go to contests. And check this all the time. Alright? This is from May. There may not be any right now. Let's see. March 31st. September. You can ignore that, but just come and check it all the time. Alright? I'm not joking when I say that like every month, maybe every month and a half, there's a new contest in here, and a lot of them will give you free tanks or a lot of gold. Alright, and there's not a lot of people that enter because they don't come in and check it, you know, from Wargaming. So you get a really good chance to win. Like I got a lot of gold like last year, or maybe not last year, like the year before, because like they just had post your highest XP, you know, and like the top 100 people gets like 500 or 600 gold. You know, so you're basically guaranteed to get gold, and they were doing it like every 2 or 3 weeks. You know, you can use that gold to go do whatever you want in here. Save up, go to your tech trees. You know, don't use gold for like small purchases or anything. Specifically use gold to buy like decent tech tree tanks like tier 8s, or for permanent camo. One or the other. That saves you money in the long run as well. So that's basically how you perform really well as a free-to-play player and roll the tanks. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call the video today. And I may record some videos so I can get some uploaded for tomorrow. And another thing, guys, I hope my mic actually sounds better. You know, I'm using my desktop mic now, got my noise canceling on, so I hope I come across a lot better. Maybe sometime before the week's done, I'll throw on my webcam as well and to continue these videos every day. But just want to say thank you to everybody, and peace.